All right, I think we shall crack on. So good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to be here again. This evening, I'm going to be talking about my favorite subject, posture. And of course, it is one of the most important building blocks. Many of you will have heard me talking about it incessantly. Tonight, you're going to have a much greater understanding why it's so important. But not just posture, we're going to go a little deeper this evening. There's way more to posture than meets the eye, way more going on under the surface, if you like. Today, obviously, we're living in a very unique world where people are not moving enough, they're stuck at home working. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to talk about a lot about how the body works. I always like to say, if knowledge is power, then knowledge about yourself becomes self-empowerment. So I want to be giving some information that if you internalize it and run with it, it can be part of your strategies for living a life of wellness and vitality well into your golden years. I'm going to be talking about how the body works. If anybody has any questions, please go ahead, don't be shy, pop it into the chat. I'll be very, very happy to address any questions at the end. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Tim. I'm a chiropractor, the owner of Total Health Chiropractic. When I came to Singapore many years ago, I realized how important my message is that I get it out, because many people were succumbing to terrible posture, and it was doing terrible, terrible things to their health and therefore their lives. So I got to work. I wrote my book, Posture Matters. I could refer you to chapter 8. If anybody wants to receive a copy of it, please just let us know, and we will send you free of charge a digital copy. I wrote it to share important information. Okay. So I am a chiropractor. So I do talk a lot about structure and function and posture. So let's just put ourselves in good posture right now. So go with me here. You have a sternum right here in the middle of your chest. Lift it up as far as it'll go. Now you're able to pull your head back and open and relax your shoulders. You're already looking better. You should now have a slight curve in your low back. All you have to do now is engage your abs and perhaps put a little bit of movement, and you are in good shape. I really want you to remember this posture. Sternum up, head back, shoulders open, engage your abs. This is your default. So during the day, and we all work long, long hours at our computers, this is your default that you go back to. Okay, every half an hour or so, make sure you're checking in with your body. So what was the greatest advice I was ever given? I'll let you ponder that for a moment. Now that you are in better posture, let's take a peek inside your body while you're pondering that question. Of course, we can look at our posture as our shape, and we can see from the illustration right there that there's an awful lot going on inside, and that if things are going to work correctly, we need to have good posture, good shape, good form, everything in its place. I think that you can see that illustration, simple as it may be, shows the relationship between our brain, our main supporting structure, which is our spine, and all our vital organs. The answer to that question, what was the greatest advice I ever was given? It was an awful long time ago. I was advised, and I've followed it. It's been one of my life things. Learn about and take an interest in your body. It's very simple. Your body needs nurturing, and there is nothing that will serve you better in life if you just take an interest in your own body. All right? Now, let's look again at this illustration, and let's go a little bit deeper and think about how the body works. Everything in your body is in a state of flow, movement, if you like. There's almost nothing that's stationary inside us. Think about it. In fact, the body hates stasis, lack of movement. Everything is moving inside. Think about your blood. Did you know that inside you, there are 60,000 miles of blood vessels? That sounds ridiculous. 60,000 miles of blood vessels inside you. Yes, it's absolutely correct. Did you know that your heart will beat 2.5 billion times in your lifetime? Incredible. Now, what else is there? Muscles, they have to contract. Why is muscle contraction very important for how the body works? Well, obviously it moves us around, helps us to move, but it does move more than that. Your body can't possibly pump your blood around 60,000 miles. So the contraction of muscles in the body helps push the blood back to the heart. Very, very important. That's why we need to be moving. We need to be in a state where we have muscle contraction almost all the time. All right? Everything is moving. Think about our breath. Think about our nerves. What about lymph? Lymph is how the body detoxifies itself. Again, it's in a state of flow. As we move, and we are constantly moving as we change our posture to do our activities of daily life, then this is helping the lymph detoxify the body at any one time. Your digestion needs movement. It needs rhythmic movement that just moves things through us. So cast your mind back and ask yourself this question. When did you most feel alive? Big question, eh? I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you about the time when I was feeling young and healthy and I was moving freely. For me, it was probably in my late teens, 20s, early 30s. I was playing rugby, I was skiing, I was hiking, I was hitchhiking around Europe, camping, I was doing all those things. Life was amazing. And can you just imagine what life was like when you were that young, that you had no pain whatsoever? And you know, when I felt that freedom of movement and I had that joy of life, it was nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with work. It had everything to do about being young. Actually, it had more to do with about feeling young, because most of the time I still feel like this, and I'm not young anymore. I'm 60. So I want to help you feel young. Look at that picture there. I know it's counterintuitive, but these were my happiest days. I was playing rugby in Northern England. It was cold and wet. I was dirty. I got smashed around by my friends playing hard. But I want to continue this life of movement. And I fully intend to spend the rest of my life. And bear in mind, I am 60. I want to be skiing and mountain climbing, golfing, cycling, tennis, anything else that I want to put my mind to. I want to be doing this for many, many more years. And for this, I need to be moving freely. I need to maintain my vitality. If anybody wants to know how I'm doing this, then I'm just going to refer you to my social media, because I've written a couple of articles which will explain, and they show you exactly where my mindset is and how I intend to achieve this, how I intend to stay young and just maintain this wellness lifestyle, maintain health long term. So this is also why I became a chiropractor. I had the choice. I could become a medical doctor or a chiropractor. I chose chiropractic when I realized that chiropractic is about life. And what I'm talking to you about this evening is about how do we get so much life into our bodies, so much vitality, that there's no room for disease or pain or degeneration. Chiropractic is about literally getting the most out of life, and this is what my message is for you tonight. If I can help you think a little bit more like a chiropractor, then I'll have done a good job tonight. So let's dive straight into the meat of my message tonight. Of course, as a chiropractor, I'm always talking about function. I want to help you live with less pain, better movement, improved posture, obviously, and better function. All good rhetoric, so all a good message, but it's a little bit too simplistic. When we talk about posture, we're usually referring to our position when we're sitting, and we've just corrected that. Correct. We're talking about our position when we sit, when we stand, or perhaps when we're lying down. But life isn't really like that. Life is about motion, and motion is life. We're almost never stationary. In fact, your body was designed to be almost perpetually on the move. Your body is the home in which you live, and it carries you through life. Think of all the things that you may want to do in life in the future. Most of it will need a good functioning body. I'm talking things like travel, sport, dancing, jumping, playing, all the adventures of life that you want to share with your loved ones. Now, you've got to start thinking of movement and posture as more as a dynamic pattern of, this is technical, dynamic pattern of responses, reflexes, and habits, not just a fixed position. So that's quite technical. But basically, think about your posture as something that needs physiology, it needs function. There's always things happening inside. Muscles are contracting, the nerves are firing by reflexes, always bringing us back to function, always protecting us and keeping us strong. We are definitely comprised of moving parts, but we've created a life that stiffens us, so we don't move so well, and pain and dysfunction starts to creep in. Think about all the walking that you may want to do in life in the future. This is going to be the very minimum that I want you to be able to achieve, is to walk freely, because that will be enough to maintain health and vitality going forward. Of course, we all remember when we were young. Look at those kids there, full of life. Who misses being young? We all do from time to time, but we can have the joy of life all the way through life. We've just got to nurture it. What does that say? Life is movement. The more life there is, the more flexibility there is. The more fluid you are, the more you are alive. And how true is that? Let's bring a bit more life into our lives. So obviously I'm a chiropractor. I always go back to posture. Let's just remind ourselves what good posture looks like. I think you will agree with me. That lady in the middle looks very comfortable in her own body. If you look on the left, the illustration has got a line down the middle. That's the gravity line. And if you live your life close to the gravity line, you're probably in good posture. Why is the chimney there? Well, because a long time ago, I was an engineer. This is why I talk about structure and function. This is what gives me the edge when I talk about posture and helping people get back to a state where they are straight and strong and proud. But yes, most people, most experts would agree that good posture looks something like that. Columns of strength, if you like. But is that perfect posture? Interesting question. It looks good. I said it's perfect posture. Well, the answer is yes and no. Yes, the shape looks good, but what about strength and conditioning? How about flexibility? And what about balancing reflexes? They all matter enormously. Luckily, we don't have to think about balance. We have all these reflexes. We get muscle contraction, controlled by our nerves, and our body is sending information to our brains, and we've got all these feedback loops going back, information going backwards and forwards. So posture is dynamic. That lady standing there in good posture, she's not just standing there without moving. There's a lot of things going on. But she's doing little micro movements. Her body is being balanced by muscle contraction and nerve reflexes, right? So the reality is that perfect posture is a constantly state of adaptation, and we're constantly in a state of evolution. We're developing. If you're sitting all day like that, this is what you're developing, a posture that looks like this, so your muscles start to hold you in bad posture, right? We can develop good posture or bad posture. We can move in a direction that's better or worse. Okay, but the good news is, if we're developing bad posture, we can start to correct it. And this is what we're going to hopefully be doing today. So what about poor posture? Obviously, it means poor function. It's the habitual positioning that causes stress on the body. And all that stress comes from gravity. Our alignment to gravity is the important thing. If we are in balance, then gravity is making us stronger, giving us strong bones and strong muscles. But if we are out of alignment, then we're getting tightness. We are losing movements, because poor posture will always lead to tight muscles. And I'm sure many of you out there have got tight muscles. But that means reduced range of motion or dysfunction. And that will eventually lead to degeneration and pain, premature aging. And it's an absolute fact that unless you have a trauma, unless you fall down a flight of stairs or something, most of your future pain will come from your alignment or your poor alignment, and it will be physical forces of gravity that will cause that pain. Okay? So is this you much of the time? Yikes. Gravity, as I mentioned, is our environment that we work in. And our body's anatomy and our environment play essential roles in our future health. Sitting for hours every day, staring at that computer, is a perfect example of damaging static posture. Over time, it will become you. You will become that shape, and you will develop chronic forward head posture, which is the worst type of bad posture. And what will happen, you'll get increased stresses on the shoulders and tightness down the back. You will start getting aches and pains, and things will start to go downhill. So I think that every single day you want to be checking in with yourself. Perhaps look at yourself in the mirror. Are you developing forward head? Are you checking with your body? I'm pretty sure I check in with my body several times a day. I ask it, what's tight? Do I need to move? Do I need to change on my posture? I think some of you will have already realized that I find it very hard to sit still because I'm constantly moving. And I know that if I sit for more than a few seconds without moving, I can feel tension building up. I don't like it, and I don't like what will happen down the line. So if you feel that something is not moving correctly, or you're stiffening, or posture's maybe not as good as it could be, then we need to start changing our habits. We need to start changing our position throughout the day. We need to start stretching more, and perhaps specific exercises, I'll give you a few tonight, will help. Certainly, we need to remember always that we are part of nature. We've made an environment, a world in which we live that is very unnatural. And unfortunately, we are adapting to that world. And the adaptation, it's not pretty. We're developing bad posture. We're stiffening, we're losing movement, and it's taking away vitality. Let's think about nature for a second. In my house, I have a dog, I have a cat. We all know that dogs and cats, they stretch all the time because they listen to their body. And if animals have this innate sense that they need to stretch, then so too do we. We need to check in, just like that cat checked in. If it's been lying there without moving, it will always stretch. And when you notice how they always stretch into lengthening and into extension. And this is what we must do. We must lengthen and we must extend our spines after spending all day flexed forward. All right? We are not bananas. We have more than one curve. We need to look after the shape of our spine. So let's think of life in terms of sport, because I like to think of life as a bit of a marathon, something that we have to be fit for. We need to get to the end of our marathon in one shape, if you like. Here you see some sprinters. They are running flat out. They're putting everything into it. I don't think our life is a sprint, really. I think it's more of a marathon. But it doesn't matter whether you are in a sprint or in a marathon. We still need strength and flexibility and speed and coordination to do the things that we do. So I fully intend to get to the end of my marathon in one piece. I'm not going to be carried. I'm not going to be helped the last few miles. The last 10 or 15 or 5 years or whatever in my life, I want to be dynamic. I want to be healthy, and I want to be fully engaged in life around me. How am I going to do it? Well, I'm going to play the long game. And you can all do that. You can play the long game. Your life, just like your posture, is dynamic. And it's all about movement. And after today, I want you definitely to start putting more movement into your life. You cannot be sitting like this for 10 hours every day without moving. Whatever job you do, I don't care what it is, it's not worth destroying your health. And if you're not moving and you're sat in that posture, it will destroy your health. So we need to simply move. And you can do it sitting. Most of it is just about correction and getting some movements in during the day. Okay? Right. Walking is man's best medicine. This is an amazing quote by Hippocrates, the father of medicine. We're not all going to be Olympic athletes like we saw in that previous slide, but these rules apply to all of us. We all need to move. We all have to be coordinated and balanced, and we do this by practicing. And one of the best things we can do is simply walk. And the absolute bare minimum that we should all be able to do and find time to do is to be able to walk comfortably for 2 to 4 miles a few times a week. It's not that much. You've just got to do it. And if you can put a little bit of pace into it and pick up your strides, or you get your heart working, even better. Walking simply is the best exercise for longevity. We should all bring walking into our life, and how, they talk about 10,000 steps. Yeah, that's a really good thing to go for. But 2 to 4 miles a few times a week, but look after yourself so you can do this well into your golden years. Yes, we may need to pay a little attention to our feet and the shoes we wear. We may need a little bit of rehab from time to time, but we need to start. If you're not able to do this, you need to build up gradually. Okay, but you've got to be able to walk. If you're not able to walk, then somebody has got their microphone on. If you could mute it, I would be forever in your debt. Thank you. So if you find it painful to walk, then maybe it's time you need to start seeing a professional or work out what's going on. It could be a podiatrist for your feet, it could be a chiropractor for your hips, whatever it is. Let us help you. Just do this simple thing. Walk comfortably without pain. Now, this is how we want to see ourselves. Dynamic, fit, healthy, energetic and vital, happy, obviously pain-free, happy in our own bodies. But remember, we want to be able to do this next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years time. We need to be in alignment. So if you know that you have bad alignment now, then there are certain negotiables and non-negotiables. The first one, and that's what I want to do today, is really get into your mindset, because your mindset will definitely shape your actions, and your actions will definitely shape your outcomes. So your mindset has to be on structure and function, and it has to be on a desire to be healthy. If there's no desire, and no determination, then I'm afraid life's busy enough will take over, and you'll just sit at your desk and you'll stiffen up. So you've got to get your mindset in the right place. Always remember, alignment is number one. And then you've got to think about what you're doing repetitively, because that matters enormously. We've got to bring more movement into our lives, and we've got to make life more natural. So here's something that I learned very, very early on, and it made me realize, oh my God, this is literally so, so important. 90% of the stimulation and nutrition to the brain is generated by movement of the spine. Think about that. Your brain is a computer. There needs to be input. And where does that input come from? 90% of it comes from the spine. So we need a good moving spine, so it's lighting up our brains. Think about it. Have you ever seen anybody who's stiff and moving slowly with a really vibrantly healthy mind? No. When bodies slow down and stiffen, the mind slows down as well. Then you get into, I'm afraid, it's a vicious circle, and it's a circle that spirals down. We need to get that movement, and it lights up the brain. This quote was by a Nobel Prize winner. This is no dummy, right? This is somebody who knows what they're talking about. And this is something that as chiropractors, we focus on enormously. We are constantly trying to get movement and function back into your spine so that your brain can work properly. Always remember that we are playing the long game. All our systems inside our bodies need activation. They all need to be in a state of flux, as I mentioned before, in a state of flow, if you like, with everything in the body, whether it's our muscles or our bone or our activation of our brains or our immune system or our digestion. It's a case of use it or lose it. The more we use it, the more effective, the more powerful the forces will be inside us. Think about our nervous system. There's a saying in chiropractic, nerves that fire together, wire together. What does that mean? Well, it means, well, everything that we do, our body gets better at. Think about it. When you drive a car, it just wires itself into our mind, so we do it automatically. We brush our teeth, we do it without thinking. Nerves that fire together, wire together. So all the nerves, when they're brushing our teeth, they become like a reflex, goes into our subconscious, and we do these things without thinking. So posture and movement, for all the things that we need to do in life, can reinforce ourselves to be stronger, or they can reinforce ourselves to be weaker. This is called neuroplasticity. And of course, good posture is important for our bones and our muscles, and it's good alignment is vital for all our weight-bearing joints. We are all weight-bearing joints. Gravity is bearing down. If our joints are in alignment, then they will be strong. But if our weight-bearing joints are out of alignment, bad posture, then I'm afraid gravity will gradually destroy these joints. So let's go back to the nerves. There's two branches of the nervous system that we need to be aware of. Obviously, there's the one that you are aware of every single day. It's the conscious nervous system, the one on the left. This is the one you're consciously aware of. It's the pain, tension. When you have aches and pains, and we all get them, these are the nerves. But I don't want you to concentrate so much. Once you feel the pain, they've done their job. We want to think more about the nerves underneath, 90% of our nerves. The nerves of function, how the body works. This is the autonomic nervous system you can see in there. Remember that as we are moving, then all those bodily functions that you see inside will be working better. But also be aware that any spinal dysfunction, any twists or malalignments of the spine can start pinching or interfering with nerves and that itself can have detrimental effects on the spine. So we need to maintain function and posture, and remember, posture comes from the spine. We have to look after our spine. We've got to think of it more as a vital organ. Many of us nowadays are suffering from all sorts of aches and pains. These are some of the ones that present to my clinics every single day. But generally, what's happening? Because this is a world of cause and effect. Most of us are sitting too long, and I'm afraid there is this cause and effect thing going on. Life is about growing and then adaptation and change. And how we change and adapt will affect how we age. So I don't think any of us want to age badly. So all we need to do to age better is give the body a chance, get it back into balance and alignment. Remember what I mentioned before about a state of flow. Look at that for a moment once more. Everything needs to be in place for good function. But what about this lady here? It's just intuitive that if she's slumped forward like that, there's going to be less room for her heart, for her lungs. There's compression there for everything. So this is going to decrease blood flow. It's going to decrease oxygen to the brain, lymph, all that thing. This is typical sitting disease. And I'm afraid I was so worried about it when I came to Singapore. This is why I wrote my book. So let's just talk a little bit more about function for a moment. I want you to understand this because I'm pretty sure everybody watching tonight is either suffering from upper cross syndrome or lower cross syndrome. And to be fair, most of us are suffering from both. So we need to know what it is. I've written there at the bottom, for every tight muscle, there is a corresponding weak muscle. What does that mean? Well, if I make a bicep with my enormous bicep there, I moved my arm with this muscle, but this muscle at the back had to turn off to allow the movement. This is a very simple reflex action. One muscle fired and another was inhibited. This works for every muscle of your body. If you have postural issues, so sitting at a computer all day, then you've almost definitely got tight shoulders. If you've got tight shoulders, then you've got weakness at the front. Now you've got muscle imbalance in the shoulders, you've got weakness in the shoulders. You might damage them lifting or whatever. If you're sitting all day, it's likely you've got very tight back muscles. Now, if you've got very tight back muscles, the chances are you have got very weak muscles at the front, your abs. Yes, that's the reason why everybody seems to have tight backs and weak tummy muscles. Simply, it's a reflex. We need to stretch our back, we need to get more function in, and we need to start engaging our abs. Core. We need to work on these core muscles that support our structure. Okay, now, when do we start developing bad posture? When do we need to start thinking about these things? Well, we need to start really young. If you look at these kids here, do you think they possibly might spend 3 hours or more on their phones a day? Well, if they do, that's 1,000 hours a year. You think that might do some damage to their posture? Yeah, it will. Did you know that if you tilt your head forward by 15 degrees only, then that increases the weight of the head by a factor of 3? What happens if you tilt your head forward by 60 degrees, like these kids? Well, that increases the weight of the head by a factor of 10. That is how much strain is in the shoulders, how much strain is down their spine. No wonder they're going to be stiffening. No wonder they're going to develop bad posture. No wonder if they're not careful, they will never fulfill their potential in life because they will be stiff and aging badly in their 20s and early 30s. This is just a fact of life. So what can we do? Well, Obviously, prevention is better than cure. So let's just move on to how do we do this? Obviously, we want to start reducing the physical stress on our bodies, and we start by improving our environment, like good ergonomics. You can see in the illustration, the girl on the right, she's on a laptop, but she's using smart ideas. She's lifted her laptop up on a pile of books. She's using Bluetooth. That's great. So she's happy. Her head is back on her shoulders. She's got a support for her low back. Everything is good. But if you look at the girl on the right, she's frowning. She looks like she's got a painful mid-back. She's slumped forward. She's stiffening. She's tremendous pressure on the discs in her low back. That's not good. She's not going to get through her career with some terrible, terrible problems. So we need to set up our workstation. I'm not going to spend too much long on this. We've got plenty of videos out there showing you at length how to set up your workstations, but just get the basics right. Our head must be on our shoulders. Eyes should be at the top of our screen. So we need to bring it up. We should have a backrest, so we should maintain a curve in our low back, because it's very important that we maintain the curve for our discs. Our feet should be supported, and we should have our legs and our elbows pretty much at 90 degrees or more. Our arms, when they're out like that on our keyboard, are very heavy. So if possible, we should set our armrest to take the weight of our shoulders. What else can we do? Well, we can change our behavior. And I implore you to start taking micro breaks. You can't sit there for 3 hours without stiffening up. So just move away, stand up, do whatever it takes, do some exercises. A couple of times an hour is what I suggest. 30 to 60 seconds can be enough. Go and get some water, do a stretch. I have a stretch that I teach all my clients, and it is YWLT. What does that mean? Just sit up like I showed you before, but go into a Y. Big Y. Open your chest, pull your head back, open your shoulders. You can now take a big breath. You've put a curve into your low back, bringing it all back. It feels good already. Now you can drop down into a W. You will. Pull those shoulders back, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Again, opening the shoulders, taking the pressure off our low back. We can then drop down into an L. Pull the hands back, squeeze those shoulder blades together even more, and then we finish off with a big T. Again, we're sitting up, pulling our head back. If you've just done that, it's taken 30 seconds. You've put your body back into good posture, and then you can go back into your default. Okay, just do that a couple of times an hour. In fact, why don't you get a pen, get a sticky, and write YWLT, stick it on top of your computer screen, right? To remind you. There, I've done it myself. Improve your posture and alignment, vital. So you need, because we're doing this computer thing, we're doing it all day, every day. We need steps. We need to be more proactive. We can't just take where fatigue. We can't just end up where fatigue and gravity takes us. And then we need to move more. So as you can see, I tend to move around a lot while I'm sitting because I'm in touch with my body, and I always feel better when I'm moving. But I've written on the bottom there, 20-20-20 rule, accommodation. What does that mean? So we also need movement for our eyes. If we're not moving, our eyes will accommodate and they will be fixated on the screen, which is only 18 inches ahead of us. So we're going to end up with wearing glasses, or we're going to strain our eyes. So we need to exercise our eyes. Our lenses are surrounded by muscles, and they need to be exercised as well. So every now and again, we need to look away. So right now, I'm looking down my garden across the street, 20 meters away. The golden rule is every 20 minutes or so, look away for 20 seconds at something that is 20 feet away. So that's probably the other end of the room. And if you do that, it will exercise your eyes, and you will stop getting so much eye strain. And you'll find that you have more energy in the afternoons. Right? People ask me an awful lot, what about standing desks? Do they help? Yes. In chiropractic, we have an expression, your best posture is actually your next posture. So we have standing desks in all our clinics. And yes, we go from sitting to standing, and we go backwards and forwards. And we might do this every 20 minutes or every half an hour or so. When you move into standing, it's reducing the stresses on your low back enormously. And it does statistically reduce back pain by about 30% compared with sitting. Remember, you can still stand in bad posture. So remember, the same rule applies. Lift the screen up so you can keep your head on your shoulders. Engage your abs. Well, they should be engaged all the time because that supports the column, the structure. Okay, what else can we do? Well, yoga and chiropractic is the dream team. I tell everybody that. Does it have to be yoga? No, it doesn't have to be yoga. You can do stretches and exercises at home. You can do Pilates. If you like working with a trainer, then just find a trainer that inspires you. That would be my thing. But you definitely need something to build into your schedule on a daily basis, ideally. It's going to help with movement and balance, strength, flexibility, and it will help de-stress you. Okay, what else can we do? Well, I've just going to finish off here with a few exercises that help our clients enormously. If you've got a tight neck at the end of the day, then just roll a towel up and lie on that towel. It'll help reform the curve in your neck. Then you can simply roll your head from side to side, and that'll massage the muscles in the back of your neck. Great thing to do. There you see me in the blue. What am I doing? I'm using a roller because if I've been leaning over clients all day, I too will have a stiff upper back. So I'm putting myself into extension. Remember, flexion makes you old. It stiffens you. Extension will help keep you young. So I think everybody that sits at the computer should have a foam roller. Just something you can do a few times a week. And listen to your body. If you're tight and stiff and achy, that's just your body telling you to do some stretches. What about our tight neck muscles? Yeah, we need to move them. Most people that come into my clinics are losing the ability to move their necks properly. It makes you feel old. So be aware of how much movement you should have in your necks, and always work by stretching to restore the comfortable range of motion. You've got 6 ranges of motion. You've got 4 directions: forward, back, side, side, and 2 rotations. Take your body, take your neck through those ranges of motions a few times every single day. What about your shoulders? Yeah, they get tired and achy. So learn to just get some movement in there. And obviously, we can do the YWLT. You will love this. You will live taller if you like. Spoke a lot about posture. One of the greatest tools that you can use for regaining posture, improving posture and strength, getting movement into your spine, reconditioning your body after it's been deconditioning after a day sitting in sedentary fashion, is by sitting on a roller. It's simple. It's sitting on an exercise ball. It's very, very hard not to move if you're sitting on a ball. You tend to move, you tend to bounce. It's fun. You can just bring it out at the end of the day when you get home, rather than just crashing on the sofa. Get on the ball, get some movement. It's just going to bring the blood in. It's going to make you feel better very, very quickly, but it's going to recondition a deconditioning spine. It's going to bring blood into discs that have been drying out all day through lack of movement. Okay, I've been going through a lot of stuff there, so we're going to have a look at the chat in a moment. I want to remind you about my book. Everything that I've been mentioned is in the book. It's available for you. Just let us know. Just give us an email address. We'll send it to you, and it will be my pleasure. If anybody who has been listening is inspired to bring somebody that they love into our clinic, or you feel that you need to get checked, or you want to restore some movement, or you want to get rid of some pain, then we are here for you. Remember, we have five clinics in Singapore, 2 in CBD, Clementi, Topayo, and Tampines. If anybody wants to come in at a reduced rate, then this is for you. Use that QR code, just take a picture of that, or just you can engage with me by email or whatever. I don't hide. If you have any questions for me, I will look at the chat in just one moment, and we'll get to work answering any questions. But if not, then please free to engage with me. I'm here for you. Okay. We've reduced the price from $170 to only $45 for anybody who wants to come in. I know that there's a lot of people on this call. There'll be plenty of people who will be watching the video after as well. This is for you. Okay, please share it with people that you know that need us. Right, let's see if I can find the chat.
Dr. Tim?
Yeah.
I managed to have 2 questions from the chat. Okay, one is from Donna. Is it still possible for aged seniors to maintain good posture, considering their muscular and joint constraint and weaknesses?
So the answer is chiropractic is for everybody, whether it be for babies or old people. Posture is for everybody. If we are developing forward head posture, it statistically shortens the vitality, the length, and of your not only your lifespan but health span, both of them. It will shorten both. So it's never too late to improve function. It's never too late to improve posture. Many older people that come in, and I don't know what age you're talking about, but I look after many people in their 80s, and I remember when I was in Spain, my job was to keep people on the golf course well into their golden years. I had patients that were well into their 90s, no problem at all. We can help almost everybody, but what we don't want is a rigidity of the upper spine, so we're stuck in this position. If we can help get the spine moving, we can open things up. And you can stand taller, and you can breathe deeper, and you can get more oxygen and nutrition into your tissues. And then you can move better, and that will light up your brain, and then you'll have more vitality, and life will be better. So my answer is, yeah, anybody can be helped. Obviously, there are limits, but you know, I've looked after, I mean, thousands of people over my years. And there's very, very few people I've had to turn away. So, you know, if you're worried about somebody, bring them in, let us have a look at them, and almost certainly they will feel better just after the first time they come in.
Thank you, Dr. Tim. The next will be, is it true that if I try to sit up straight, upright, while seated, I actually add more pressure to my lower back and spine?
Your question is, if you sit up straight, if you sit up upright, it adds more pressure. Though the answer is no. If you're leaning forward, all the weight is on your discs. You are doing damage. If you are sitting up, then that weight is more perfectly balanced. So we really need to be balanced. We need to be being balanced by good core musculature, with our abs supporting at the bottom as well. Now, if you are comfortable in bad posture, and then you put yourself into good posture, and it feels like a terrible strain, then this tells me you've got some work to do, because you've actually changed, you've adapted to something that's bad. And your shape, your posture, your form is now very unhealthy. So you need to start stretching. You probably need to visit your chiropractor. You need to get things moving so that you can restore better posture without that strain. I hope that makes sense.
Yep. Thank you. There's one more question for you. Will be, my knees have joint pain. It's related to my spine as well. Should we continue exercising with the pain? Okay, a follow-up question will be, can chiropractic session helps to fix it?
Right. So knees are terrible joints. A long time ago, we went from having 4 legs to 2 legs. We went biped. Then we stood up in gravity, and we've been fighting ever since. Only the people who have good alignment manage to get through life without arthritis. So people whose legs are not in alignment will get arthritis, which is wear and tear of the joints. So my answer is, your knees need to be in alignment. I know all about this because I managed to burn out the cartilage in my right knee all those years ago playing rugby on those frozen pitches in Northern Europe, because my knees were out of alignment because I didn't know this stuff, and I developed flat feet. Now I don't have flat feet. I have arch support in my shoes. My knees are back in alignment. I have no pain in the knees. Can chiropractic help this? Yes, because we look at the feet, we look at the knees, we look at the pelvis. You cannot have a rotated pelvis. You can't have one leg longer than the other, because that'll cause a twist in the spine and that'll cause a twist in the knees. It all comes back to structure, balance, and function. It's something that we all will look at as chiropractors. And can we fix it? Again, fixing is a word that I don't like to use, because yes, we can help things. We can help things start to improve. But remember, your body is in a state of flux and adaptation. What we do is we don't treat pain. We restore alignment and function. Then your body will start to adapt in a better way. If your body is then more comfortable, it will give you less pain. If your body is able to repair itself because you haven't left it too late, then yes, we have fixed the problem. Okay? I myself, I get some pain. I've been really heavy on my spine over the years. I ski hard. I've fallen off motorbikes, and I've done all these things. I've broken many bones in my body. I have got some wear and tear. So yes, I have some pain, but I'm not scared. I know how to deal with it. I keep things in alignment. I do my stretches, and most of the time I have no pain. But if I allow myself to stiffen, I allow myself to develop bad alignment, or I forget to put the insoles in my shoes or something like that, yeah, I will start to suffer. So let your body tell you. You need to check in with it. And if it's stiff, it's giving you aches and pains, then look at alignment and look at function, range of motion. If you get all those things back into how they should be, then your tendency will be back towards function and less pain.
Thank you, Dr. Tim. Dr. Tim, I believe that you have a few questions which is sent direct to you and also via email as well.
Yeah, I've got a couple here which I'm just holding up. One from Eileen, who has some degeneration in her bottom disc, L5S1, and sometimes her pelvis goes out of alignment. This is very, very common. Most people that are sitting all day, every day, end up with thinning of the disc, which is a degenerating disc. Your discs are one of the two things in your body that are avascular. They don't have a direct blood supply. One is the lens in your eyes, and one's the discs in your spine. How do they get their nutrition? They get their nutrition and therefore their life from movement. So fundamentally, we've got to keep our joints moving properly in alignment. So that is our focus. We need your disc, we need that L5S1, we need to have a good shape. So you need to get the curve back. You need your pelvis to be in alignment, but you need full range of motion in that disc all the time. If you're able to do that, then your disc will be as healthy as it can be, depending on how much it deteriorated. Usually it's not too late. Usually your body can recover enough so you can be out of pain. So, I think my answer is, if you are suffering and you are not able to restore the shape and the function yourself, then usually it's quite a simple thing for us to attend to. So come in, take advantage of our offer there, and let's get you straightened out. Another one from Linda, who has had a problem, shoulders, right arm pain, did all sorts of things trying to improve things. Went to a Chinese doctor who set the bone, and it's been better ever since. So I don't know whether that bone setter did some manipulation of the shoulder or the neck. Be very careful if you're my advice, if you're having any joints manipulated, please go to a doctor of chiropractic who knows what they're doing. That's my number one thing with this one. If you are having any pain that shoots down your arm, it's more than likely coming from the top, could well be from the neck. It could be impingement in the shoulder. So these are things that we need to look at. Maybe you need some rehab, maybe you need some adjustments. It's very hard to say without looking at your particular case. So, I know that you can be a lot better. I know that we can improve function and alignment. It's very hard to answer these questions without actually seeing you alive. So that's what we need to do. Okay, Jerry, any more questions for me?
Dr. Tim, can you please check whether you have any direct messages sent to you via the chat?
Right, having a look at the chat. Tell me. Right, one from Australia. Nice to have somebody from Australia. Can chiropractic help with heel spurs? Well, the answer is yes, because heel spurs mostly come from loss of alignment in the feet. So flat feet, that is something that we do address. We have a machine in our Tampines clinic that will actually set your feet, and it will create the orthotics you need. So that is affirmative. If you are in Australia, you probably can't come to our clinic in Tampines, so you could go to a podiatrist, or you could your friendly, local, talented chiropractor will certainly be able to help you, and he'll check more than your feet. So that's my answer. Or you are relocating to Singapore next year. Okay, I look forward to seeing you too, Richard. We have a lady who's 20 weeks pregnant. I heard adjustment is good for me during pregnancy. Is this true? Yes, this is absolutely true. Your body is adapting, it's changing as you progress through your pregnancy. It's something that I know an awful lot about. My wife went to full term on a twin pregnancy. And yes, I was a chiropractor at the time. We managed to keep her in balance, and she had the best possible pregnancy that went all the way through. So yes, it's something we are looking at all our clinics. We have pregnant ladies, and we have people who are in postpartum. So they have recently given birth. Again, they want to get their bodies back. They want to very quickly get back to how they were. So yes, pregnancy can be helped, and it's very safe and very gentle. So I've got a direct message from Raul, who would like to invite me to do a webinar for your company. Raul, I will be delighted. We'll let us connect. Just make sure we've got your email address, and we will connect with you right after this. Seniors to maintain good posture. Yes, we've done that one. We've done that one, sitting up straight. Possible to send you a recorded version later? Absolutely, it certainly is. We are putting this on YouTube. Okay, this will be posted to YouTube in a couple of days. If you want to request, just let us know, and we can send it to you in person if you would like. And then feel free to share.
Hi Tim, it's Vanessa here. Just two more there about chiropractic fixing flat feet, and also one from Margaret. Everything else I've answered privately.
Right. I'm looking at all your answers. Margaret, thank you. Which one? How about for the past few days? Could be strained from heavy lifting due to office move. Yes. You know, if we are sitting all the time and we move office, or even if we are a weekend warrior, and after a week of sitting and you do something strenuous, and you might be lifting weights in the gym or lifting furniture in an office move, we need to stay conditioned. Remember, it's not a sprint we're going through. This is a marathon, and we've got to stay healthy. And for that, we need to stay conditioned. So we've got to look after ourselves all day, all year. So, you know, my advice is address the way you sit, get a good chair, look after your ergonomics, make sure you understand how to reset yourself, get up, move around, see a chiropractor, make sure you're not stiffening up, making sure you're aware of the basic rules, make sure you hydrate your discs and before you do anything that's strenuous. What does that mean? It means warm up. It means get some movement in, right? And that might be bouncing on a ball or go for a walk before you do something strenuous. And it might be doing some stretching. But please don't do these things cold. You know, one of the most dangerous times where people get off airplanes and we are starting to fly again, thank the Lord. The worst time is you've been sitting on a plane for 8 hours, you go to the carousel and you lift that heavy suitcase, you lift and twist and bang, you've just ruptured a disc. These are the times you need to be very careful. So any lifting, look after yourself. Make sure you engage your abs before you do anything that involves lifting and twisting. There's my advice. Yes, please feel free to share. Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, somebody's asking about sleeping posture. Sleeping posture, very, very important. It does less damage than bad sitting posture. But if you wake up in the morning stiff, yes, then perhaps you need to think about your sleeping posture. You definitely don't want a mattress that is too soft, because your spine will hammock. You want it supported, but you do want a comfort layer on top. You sleep on your back or you sleep on your side, but you definitely don't want something that's too soft. Okay, think about cushions. What you're aiming for is a neutral spine. Okay, if you look at our social media, then you will definitely see the plenty on sleeping. Okay.
Dr. Tim, just last one will be can adjustment actually helps flat feet?
Just to help flat feet?
Yep.
Well, some of our flat feet happen because of bad habits, bad shoes, walking on concrete when we are designed to walk on uneven surfaces with the muscles of our feet working to provide grip and balance. So, you know, so what we will always do as chiropractors, we will point it out. We will help you choose the right orthotics. We will help get the balance back in your legs, your knees, and your hips. And we will direct you to the right orthotics that will help. So, you know, chiropractic is about lifestyle, it's about choices. It's not just about the adjustments, okay? Yes, we do adjust hips and knees and feet to an extent. We focus more on the main supporting structure, the spine and the pelvis, but we will always help people with flat feet and anything else that is out of alignment. Thanks, Jerry. Good question. Okay, we've been going for over an hour, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. If anybody's got any more questions, just please engage me. I'm here. I really am here for you. I will answer. Again, my book is ready, is there for you. So I think we're going to call that a wrap. I thank you all for staying with me. There's been plenty on the call. I do like that. There's been over 30 on the call, and there'll be many more watching the video. So thank you again for your time. I hope I've been able to share some good stuff with you. And always remember that your body is meant to move. We are dynamic structures, and we need to make life more natural. Okay, thank you very much. And I wish you a very, very pleasant evening ahead. And I look forward to seeing you in the clinic.